You know, we've always looked up to the stars as the final frontier. But what if I told you some of the most alien, hostile, and unexplored places aren't out there, but right here, deep inside our own planet? Today, we're going down.
It's a question that really makes you stop and think, right? We pour so much energy into going to space, but what are the absolute limits of exploration right here at home? What kind of crushing forces and insane conditions are waiting for us just miles beneath our feet?
And the challenges? Well, they're total opposites. Space is all about the vacuum of nothingness. The deep is about unbelievable crushing pressure. Space is cold and full of radiation. The deep is about intense heat and absolute total darkness. So let's explore 3 incredible realms of this inward frontier.
Okay, first up, we're heading to the place most of us think of when we hear the word deep, the huge, dark bottom of the ocean. It's a world that's ruled by one single overwhelming force, pressure.
Our destination is a spot called the Challenger Deep. It's in the Mariana Trench out in the Western Pacific. And look, this isn't just a deep spot. It's the absolute lowest point on the entire planet. This is the deepest any human being has ever physically gone. We're talking over 10.9 kilometers straight down. To give you some perspective, if you took Mount Everest and plopped it down in the trench, its peak would still be more than 2 kilometers underwater. But honestly, the distance isn't the real enemy here.
Nope, it's the pressure. Down there, the force from all that water is over 1,100 times greater than the air pressure you're feeling right now. That is an almost unimaginable amount of force.
So to make that number actually mean something, try to picture this. The entire weight of a jumbo jet, all of it, focused on the tiny little area of one of your fingernails. That's the kind of power that any sub going down there has to be built to survive.
And you can really see the story of technology and how we got there. Back in 1960, the first guys to do it, Pickard and Walsh, they barely made it. An outer window on their sub actually cracked from the strain. It took over 50 years for the next person, James Cameron, to go down alone. And it's only in the last few years that we've built a sub that can make the trip over and over again. It's just an incredible story of engineering, pushing the absolute limits of what materials can even do.
Okay, so let's pull ourselves out of the ocean and get back on solid ground. The journey down continues, but the whole challenge shifts. We're moving from the pressure of water to the crushing weight of solid rock.
On land, going deep into the earth is a battle against a whole different set of problems. It's not just the claustrophobia of being in tight spaces, but you also have to deal with the intense geothermal heat coming up from the planet's core. And of course, the constant, terrifying danger from the sheer weight of the world right above your head.
And this really shows you the 2 completely different ways we go deep on land. On one hand, you have the natural way. Veryovkina Cave. We're talking a brutal, weeks-long expedition where explorers have to rappel through freezing waterfalls and squeeze through tiny passages. And on the other hand, you have an engineered descent, the Maponan gold mine, where workers have to deal with rock temperatures over 60 degrees Celsius and the constant, terrifying threat of the walls literally exploding from the pressure in something they call rock bursts.
Okay, so we've been to the bottom of the ocean and we've gone deep into the earth. But what if I told you that neither of those is actually the furthest humanity has ever reached into our planet?
Right, so if you had to put money on it, you'd say Challenger Deep, wouldn't you? That's the deepest we've ever been. It seems obvious, but you'd be wrong.
I mean, just look at this comparison. The deepest cave barely even registers on the chart. The Challenger Deep is, of course, immense at 10.9 kilometers. But dwarfing them both is something called the Kola Superdeep Borehole, punching down an incredible 12.2 kilometers.
Yeah, this one wasn't about sending a person down in a sub. This was pure science. Back during the Cold War, the Soviets started this project with a simple but totally audacious goal. Just drill as far as they possibly could into the Earth's crust. No human could ever fit inside this thing, but our technology went deeper than any person ever has. And the crucial point here is that this one project basically rewrote our geology textbooks. Everything they thought they knew was challenged. The rock was almost twice as hot as they predicted it would be. They found liquid water miles down, where theory said it was completely impossible. And maybe wildest of all, they found microscopic fossils in rock that was 2 billion years old, proving life existed way earlier and deeper than anyone ever imagined.
So, when you step back and look at all this, these incredible journeys into the oceans, the caves, the crust, it really tells you something profound about our world.
I want you to just let this sink in for a second.
We have mapped the entire surface of Mars with more detail than our own seafloor. Another planet. It just goes to show you how much of our own world is still a complete and utter mystery, just waiting to be explored.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? From who knows what kind of life living in those crushing pressures to the secrets of our planet's history locked away in ancient rock, the inward frontier still has so many stories to tell. The biggest question isn't what we've already found, but what's still down there waiting for us in the deep.